Intimacy after 75, the psychology of love, connection, and desires. Time moves forward and the body changes. Intimacy transforms, but it never disappears. For women beyond the age of 75, closeness takes on a new dimension. It's not just about the physical, it's about the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. Psychology tells us that intimacy in later years becomes less about performance and more about presence, less about the body and more about the soul. So what does intimacy truly mean for women after 75? Let's explore 12 powerful psychology-backed insights that reveal how love, desire, connection evolve with age. 1. Emotional intimacy becomes the core for many older women. A meaningful conversation carries more weight than a physical act. Sharing memories, laughing together, and feeling understood creates a deeper form of satisfaction. The warmth of companionship often becomes more valuable than physical intercourse itself. 2. Arousal of the mind. True. Intimacy after 75 often begins in the mind. Mental stimulation, being listened to with respect, engaging in thought-provoking dialogue, become the most powerful forms of attraction. To be seen, heard, and valued is profoundly erotic at this stage of life. 3. Oxytocin's new role known. As the bonding hormone, oxytocin flows not only during sex, but also through gentle affection like holding hands, cuddling, or even a long hug. In later years, oxytocin is less about lust and more about deep emotional security, reinforcing bonds that have stood the test of time. 4. Desire doesn't disappear, it evolves. Contrary to popular belief, desire doesn't vanish with age. Many women still feel sexual attraction, but it becomes context-driven. Comfort, safety, and emotional closeness create the spark more than physical appearance alone. It's not about fire that burns fast, but about warmth that lasts. 5. Communication as foreplay. Words become more powerful than touch. Joke, story, or even quiet moments of eye contact can ignite a kind of passion that rivals any physical encounter. For many women over 75, communication is not just important, it is the very foundation of intimacy. 6. The beauty of slowing down fast. Performance-focused intimacy often fades in importance. Instead, slow, mindful, touch like caressing a hand, brushing a cheek, or simply sitting in stillness together brings more satisfaction than rushing through physical acts. In aging, slowing down becomes a gift. 7. Sensuality over sexuality as the years pass. Sensual moments like a gentle massage, holding hands during a walk, or deep eye contact can feel just as fulfilling as intercourse, sometimes even more so. The body may change, but the soul still yearns for closeness. 8. The brain remains the greatest erogenous zone. Even at 75 and beyond, intellectual intimacy is powerful. Sharing books, discussing ideas, or exploring spiritual beliefs can awaken emotions and desires in ways that the body alone cannot. The mind, not the body, becomes the spark of attraction. 9. Freedom from body image concerns. One of the unexpected gifts of age is freedom. Many older women stop caring about how their bodies look and focus instead on how they feel. This shift often leads to more authentic, relaxed intimacy, free of self-consciousness. 10. Pleasure as emotional resonance. Satisfaction is no longer tied only to physical release. A loving look across the room, the sound of laughter, or the comfort of falling asleep beside someone you trust can bring more joy than an orgasm. Pleasure becomes about connection, not just sensation. 11. Healing through intimacy. Later life intimacy can also be deeply healing. Some women use this stage of life to reclaim agency, work through old traumas, or experience true connection for the first time. Intimacy becomes not just a pleasure, but a path to personal growth. 12. Intimacy beyond sex. For some, the deepest intimacy comes without any physical act at all. Spiritual connection, deep friendship, and emotional bonding can create a closeness that feels more fulfilling than any past sexual experience. Final reflection after 75. Intimacy isn't about performance, it's about presence. It's not about being touched on the body, but being touched in the mind and heart. Psychology shows us that sexuality doesn't fade away. It evolves into something richer, deeper, and timeless. True intimacy. At any age is about being seen, being heard, and being loved. As women grow older, especially past the age of 75, their experience of intimacy takes on a new shape. While touch still carries meaning, the deeper satisfaction often comes from the mind and heart. Connection shifts from the purely physical to the profoundly psychological. Here are some fascinating psychology-based insights into how intimacy, pleasure, and closeness are often experienced later in life. 1. Emotional closeness becomes the core. Conversations, shared stories, and feeling understood bring a sense of fulfillment that often outweighs traditional physical intimacy. 2. Arousal of the mind. For many, mental stimulation, being truly listened to, respected, and engaged with, becomes one of the strongest forms of attraction. 3. Oxytocin finds a new role, known as the bonding hormone. Oxytocin released through simple gestures like holding hands or cuddling reinforces deep attachment more than raw desire. 4. Desire doesn't vanish, it transforms. Sexual desire often remains, but it grows more connected to safety, trust, and emotional comfort rather than pure PHYSICAL3. 5. Communication is foreplay. Laughter, stimulating conversation, and genuine presence can light the spark before any physical act even begins. 6. The beauty of slowing. Gentle, mindful, and unhurried touch often feels far more rewarding than fast or performance-focused intimacy. 7. Sensuality. It often replaces sexuality. Acts like caressing, eye contact, tender dialogue can bring just as much if not more satisfaction than intercourse. 8. The brain stays the most powerful erogenous zone. Intellectual exchanges, creative discussions, and even shared spiritual practices can ignite a kind of passion that transcends the physical. 9. Freedom from body image concerns. Many women report feeling less pressure to look a certain way and instead embrace how their bodies feel, allowing intimacy to be more authentic and relaxed. 10. Pleasure as connection. Satisfaction often stems from the emotional resonance of a loving look, a gentle touch, or a shared laugh sometimes, carrying more depth than orgasm itself. 11. Healing through intimacy. Later life connections can provide opportunities to release old pain, claim agency, and experience intimacy in a more empowering way. 12. Depth without sex. For some, spiritual and emotional bonds form a closeness that feels even more fulfilling than physical intimacy ever did. Final reflection. After 75. Intimacy often shifts away from the body and toward the soul. What matters most is presence, respect, and being truly seen. Sexuality evolves into something timeless in energy rooted in understanding, tenderness, and love.